Do you believe in secrets that can tear a family apart, exposing the darkest corners of the human heart? The story you're about to hear is not just a tragedy, but a raw indictment of betrayal and a story I never wanted to tell. Yeah, you heard me right. Non-fiction. Because believe it or not, this is the real deal about Sarah, a New York woman who seemed to have it all: love, a career, a perfect family. Then one fateful night, a folder on a table blew up her whole damn world. This wasn't just some ordinary divorce, folks. This was a knockdown, drag-out custody battle, tangled up with twisted relationships, a bombshell truth about a kid's real parents, and a past darker than any novel you've ever picked up. This story's gonna make you question the lines between love, hate, and just how much the truth costs. So buckle up. Join me, Sarah, the one telling this tale, as we dive headfirst into the darkest alleys of Manhattan, where secrets get buried deep, but the truth always finds a way to crawl to the surface. You ready for this? It didn't start simple. Not at all. I'm Sarah, born and raised in some quiet little town upstate where green hills and snowy winters made for a simple life. I always believed in family and blood being thicker than water. My sister Olivia, 4 years older, was always the center of attention. She was gorgeous, smart, and had this weird magnetism about her. Me, I was just the good little sister, always quietly in the background, never crossing her. I remember Olivia telling me when we were kids that she wanted to be a queen and queens never share their throne. Back then, I just thought it was some innocent kid's game. Little did I know that line would become the damn playbook for a life full of scheming, and I was just a pawn in her twisted chess match. I met Michael when I was 23 at some little coffee joint in Greenwich Village. He was this promising young architect with a warm smile and eyes that actually listened. He proposed to me under the twinkling Christmas lights at Rockefeller Center with a simple silver ring I treasured more than anything. On our wedding day, Olivia stood by me holding my pristine white bouquet, whispering, "My little sister's finally happy." Happy, I kept telling myself I was happy. Even after all those years, I still couldn't get pregnant. Every time I saw kids running wild in the streets of Manhattan, my heart ached. I tried everything from the old school stuff to the cutting-edge treatments, but that damn pregnancy stick always just showed one cold line. Michael always comforted me. But sometimes I'd catch his eyes glancing at Olivia in this weird way, like they had some secret I couldn't touch. We opened a small art gallery in Soho, working from dawn till dusk, trying to save every penny for infertility treatments. This invisible pressure weighed heavy on our marriage. Then one day, Olivia announced she was pregnant. She invited me to her newly bought penthouse in Austin, Texas for the gender reveal party. I was thrilled for her, but something felt off. Michael was too quiet, and Olivia kept shooting him these loaded glances. The party was a blowout, wine-flowing, guests laughing their heads off. Everyone thought it'd be a boy, Olivia was sure of it. But when the pink smoke shot up, I saw Olivia's face just freeze like she'd been punched. I caught her eyes darting at Michael, blaming him, and he just stared at the floor. But what was scarier was David's look, Olivia's husband. He looked at Michael with this expression I couldn't quite place, like he knew something too. That night, I heard Olivia slam her bedroom door, voices echoing out, then Michael sitting downstairs chugging a bottle of whiskey by himself. I figured it was just Olivia being disappointed about not having a boy. But now looking back, it was the disappointment of a woman who'd just had a piece of her secret exposed, and Michael, her accomplice, trying to bury the truth. The baby girl was born named Lily. I loved Lily from the first moment I held her: soft brown hair, big dark eyes just like Michael's. But Olivia, not so much. She avoided the kids' gaze, pawned her off on the nanny and me. The unwilling aunt became the lullaby machine whenever I visited. Lily grew up in her mother's cold indifference, but she found warmth in my arms. Olivia always called Lily a mistake, a burden. She constantly neglected the kid one time. I even found Lily sitting alone in the dark, sobbing while Olivia was downstairs partying. I knew something wasn't right, a cruelty that went beyond a normal mother. When Lily was 3, Olivia got pregnant again. This time she didn't hide her hatred. "If it's another girl, I'm getting an abortion." She tried every old wives' tale, dieted according to some psychic, even went to temples to pray for a son. The result, a boy. I'll never forget the morning she held the ultrasound, screaming, "God finally favors me." Lily stood next to her holding her mother's hand, but Olivia brushed her off, letting the kid fall onto the cold tile floor. Michael just stood there watching Lily fall, doing nothing. His eyes were full of fear, not for Lily's pain, but for Olivia. In that moment, something clicked in my head. It wasn't just indifference, it was fear. Michael was scared of Olivia. Why? Back then, I actually wanted to adopt Lily. Michael shot me down. "Are you crazy? Why would you take someone else's kid?" But I didn't give up. I secretly started getting the paperwork ready, looking into the procedures. I just wanted to save Lily from that house. I didn't even understand why I was so obsessed. I didn't know my heart was leading me into an underground storm. I started noticing the little things. Michael's secret late-night phone calls. Olivia suddenly popping up in New York without a word. One time I saw Michael quickly hide a small box when I walked into his study. I thought it was a birthday gift for me, but my gut told me something else. Then one night, as I was looking for an old book in Michael's bookshelf, I found a stuck drawer. I pulled it open, and inside it wasn't gifts. It was a stack of old documents. A pregnancy test result with Olivia's name, but a hospital address in Brooklyn from around the same time I lost my first baby. And an ultrasound picture. with a handwritten note from Michael, "Lily, my angel." A sharp pain shot through me. I confronted Michael and he denied everything, slamming his hand on the table, yelling, "Don't you trust me? You're being delusional." But this time I didn't back down. His eyes weren't warm anymore, just anger and fear. I wasn't stupid. I hired a private investigator, a former NYPD cop named Frank Costello, known for digging up the deepest secrets of Manhattan's elite. Frank was skeptical at first, but when I showed him that pregnancy test and ultrasound picture, his eyes changed. "Miss Sarah, you're poking a hornet's nest here." Frank got to work. He pulled old call logs, rummaged through dog-eared hotel receipts, followed Michael and Olivia. Every day he sent me more horrific pieces of the puzzle. Photos of them entering the same hotels in different cities, not just Austin. Camera footage from buildings near the clinic in Brooklyn. And then an audio recording of Michael whispering on a late-night call, "Don't let Sarah find out Lily's my kid," and Olivia, "Someone's threatening her." The clinking of porcelain teacups was the only sound in the swanky Upper East Side penthouse. No one dared to move. I, Sarah, laid the thick folder on the glass table where the crystal chandelier reflected the photos and documents. My husband Michael and my sister Olivia sat opposite me, silent as stone statues. I took a deep breath, trying to stifle the rage burning in my chest. I had no more tears left for these two betrayers. "Well?" My voice was ice-cold, echoing in the dead quiet. "Anything to say?" Michael, the successful architect with the calm demeanor, was now gripping the armrest of the leather sofa. His eyes avoided mine, fixed on the abstract painting on the wall. Olivia, the sister I once admired like a fashion goddess, was trembling, her usually proud red lips now pale. "Sarah, you misunderstood," Olivia stammered. I scoffed. "Misunderstood? These pictures, these recordings are all a misunderstanding, Olivia? Or is your love with my husband a big misunderstanding?" Michael couldn't utter a word. In that moment, every beautiful image I had of my family shattered like a broken mirror. Lily, the child I'd held like my own daughter, was actually the flesh and blood of my husband and my sister. I almost screamed. I tried to adopt her and you two walked all over me, lied to me all this time. But then unexpectedly, Olivia snapped. Her true colors showed. Olivia curled her lip, trying to salvage something. "You're barren. How could you keep a husband? Anyway, Michael is mine." Michael stayed silent. I saw him cry, but I had no pity left. I filed for divorce. I accused Olivia of abandoning Lily. I started the fight for custody of a child I knew wasn't mine by birth, but who I swore I'd raise with every ounce of love left in my heart. The courtroom was my second battleground. Olivia hired a slick lawyer, pulling every trick in the book to get Lily back. Michael changed sides like a chameleon, one minute telling me, "Forgive me," the next. Kneeling at Olivia's feet, begging her to come back. I sat there exhausted, but Lily's eyes, those scared, pleading eyes, kept me standing strong. First court sessio, I sat on the plaintiff's side, clutching a stack of DNA test results. My lawyer, Brenda Carmichael, a fox in the New York family law scene, small in stature, but her words cut through lies like a scalpel. Brenda stood up, slamming the file on the table. "Your Honor, this is proof that the defendant Michael had an illicit affair with his sister-in-law, leading to the birth of Lily. While the plaintiff Sarah is the legal wife-be and the only one who has cared for Lily since birth." Across from us, Olivia's lawyer, Arthur Sterling, gray-haired, expensive suit, his voice as smooth as honey. "The plaintiff has no blood relation. Lily is Olivia's child. This defendant has full maternal rights. Michael is merely someone dragged into this divorce. He is ready to take responsibility, but Olivia's maternal rights cannot be revoked." I looked at Olivia, her eyes completely dry. All those years I saw her as my protector. Now that wall had crumbled, crushing my heart. But I still sat up straight, my eyes fixed on Lily, the kid sitting in the hallway with the nanny clutching a worn teddy bear, occasionally looking back for me. The following days of arguments felt like an endless play. Olivia's lawyer dug into my infertility, presenting medical records, blank ultrasound papers, even showing a video of me crying in the fertility clinic. They wanted to paint me as crazy, a desperate woman clinging to a child that wasn't hers. But then Brenda surprisingly called David, Olivia's husband, to the witness stand. David, a successful businessman, looked much more worn out than the last time I saw him. Brenda asked, "Mr. David, are you aware of the relationship between your wife Olivia and Michael?" David hesitated, looking at Olivia with eyes full of hatred. I knew. I've known for a long time." The courtroom buzzed. Olivia shot up her face, drained of color. "How long have you known?" Brenda pressed. "And why did you keep silent?" David took a deep breath. "Olivia threatened me. She said if I spoke up, she'd destroy my career. And more importantly, she'd harm Lily. She has connections. Very dangerous ones." David's words were a bomb, making the atmosphere in the courtroom as tense as a violin string. I listened to it all, not shedding a single tear. It was Brenda's turn for rebuttal, and she called Michael to the stand. "Mr. Michael, do you admit to an affair with Olivia?" Michael avoided my gaze, his voice choked. I did. But I swear it was a mistake." A ripple of murmuring went through the courtroom. I gripped the hem of my dress, my nails digging into my skin. Brenda didn't let up. "Do you admit Lily is your child?" Michael hung his head, his voice a whisper. "Yes." I could hear my heart breaking into a million pieces. Olivia turned away as if Michael was some dirty man who had just exposed her dirty laundry. David, Olivia's official husband, had left right after the first mediation, but now he was back and his return was shaking everything up. The next interrogation sessions were even more intense. Olivia's lawyer argued I was depressed, bringing in my old doctor who had prescribed me sedatives for insomnia after my miscarriage. Brenda countered by unleashing a series of videos of Olivia yelling at and hitting Lily. The audio recordings I'd collected, Olivia screaming, "I wish you didn't exist," echoed through the courtroom cold as a knife. But then, an unexpected witness appeared. An elderly woman who used to be Olivia's nanny when she was a child. She testified that Olivia had always been violent and selfish since she was little, and that Olivia once had a terrifying secret the family had tried to hide. The nanny's testimony revealed a shocking truth. Olivia had a half-sister who died in an accident when Olivia was very young. The incident had been staged to look like an accident, but the nanny always believed Olivia was involved. This showed Olivia's cruelty had been present for a long time, and Lily wasn't her first victim. In the middle of this legal war, Michael found me. One night when I got back to the temporary apartment I was renting near the courthouse, he was waiting by the door looking pathetic, his hair a mess. Michael shoved a paper into my hand, voluntary relinquishment of parental rights. He cried, "Sarah, please, forgive me. We can start over. I only love you." But then he whispered another sentence just loud enough for me to hear. "Olivia, she's not who you think she is. She has a past no one knows about and it involves someone's death." I laughed. A dry, hollow laugh. Start over? With whom? With a man who betrayed both his wife and his sister-in-law, who threw everything away for lust. You think I still believe your tears, Michael? I threw the paper on the table, walked past him, and slammed the door shut. I heard Michael punching the wall sobbing, but there was no room left in my heart for pity. However, his whisper about Olivia's past haunted me. The final weeks were strung tight. The court ordered psychological evaluations. Lily had to see a child specialist. She was so scared of her mother she wouldn't leave my side for a second. The results clearly stated. Lily showed signs of trauma when near Olivia. The verdict was almost certainly going to be in my favor, but Olivia wouldn't give up. She burst into the courtroom, slamming her hand on the table. "That child is my flesh and blood. She is my daughter." She looked at me, snarling. "You're just barren. You want to steal my child to fill your empty womb?" Then she suddenly let out a crazy laugh, pointing at me and saying, "You don't know anything about me, Sarah. You don't know what I had to do to get what I wanted." I stood up, no need for my lawyer, looking straight into Olivia's eyes. "No, I don't need to fill anything. I just want Lily to be loved. Something you never gave her. And I know what you did to our other sister, Olivia. I won't let you harm Lily like you harmed her." My words silenced the entire courtroom. Olivia's face went white, her eyes full of panic. Finally, the court declared me Lily's legal guardian. Olivia was ordered to attend psychological treatment if she wanted to see Lily, and a new investigation into the death of Olivia's other sister was opened. Michael was stripped of his parental rights. When the judge read the verdict, I looked at Michael. He buried his head in his hands, crying like a child. Olivia screamed, cursing at me, but the bailiffs had to restrain her when she tried to snatch Lily from my arms. Some nights I'd come back to the apartment with only a few boxes holding Lily while my heart ached. The kid would whisper, "Auntie, Mommy doesn't love me, right?" I swallowed my tears, holding her tighter. "It's okay, you have me now." Finally, after more than a long year, the court ruled that I could raise Lily. Emily screamed and struggled with the child right in the courthouse hallway. Lily clung to me in fear. Michael quietly watched, unable to lift his head. I carried Lily out into the cold wind, my legs trembling but my heart as steady as steel. I had lost everything, love, marriage, family. But I got Lily back, the child I never gave birth to but would protect for life. We were back in court 3 months later. I remember that spring morning. Clearly, the New York sky was clear blue, the Manhattan courthouse hallways packed with reporters, everyone curious about this strange, drawn-out divorce, a wife suing her husband and sister fighting for custody of a child not her own, exposing an incestuous affair between a brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and now another deadly secret. The day I walked out of court, Lily held my hand tight, whispering, "Mommy, let's go home." I picked her up, kissed her forehead, and suddenly realized I wasn't the weak Sarah of the past anymore. Lily and I left New York, heading back upstate. I bought a small cabin by the lake where the only sounds were birds singing and wind rustling through the trees. Early mornings I'd make coffee. Lily would sit drawing by the window, her innocent sketches slowly erasing the shadows in her soul. Every winter the snow would fall, blanketing everything white, and I'd look out at the yard watching her giggle, chasing squirrels. The investigation into Olivia's other sister's death continued. Frank Costello still kept in touch, occasionally sending updates. He said it looked like Olivia had been very clever at hiding everything, but they were finding new clues, testimonies from people who had once feared Olivia. Sometimes Michael would send apology letters. I didn't read them. Olivia too. They were the past. Lily was the present and the future. But one day I got an unmarked envelope. Inside was an old photo, Olivia looking very young, standing next to another girl who looked just like her. On the back it said, "She knows. She'll never let you rest. The photo sent shivers down my spine. Who sent it? And who was she? Was there another secret, another person trying to expose Olivia? Or even get revenge? I called Frank. He said they were having trouble finding direct evidence about the death of the other sister, whose name was Chloe, a chilling coincidence with Lily's name. But this photo could be a crucial clue. Frank promised to investigate the sender and the content of the photo further. A few weeks later, Frank called back. He found the sender of the photo. It was an older woman who used to be Chloe's, the deceased sister's close friend. She had lived in seclusion for years out of fear of Olivia. But now, after hearing about my lawsuit, she decided she had to tell the truth. That woman Eleanor told Frank a horrifying story. Chloe didn't die in an accident. Olivia had pushed Chloe down the stairs in a fit of rage, after Chloe discovered Olivia had stolen a large sum of money from their parents. Olivia had staged everything to look like an accident and used her family's influence to silence those who knew. Eleanor had witnessed the entire thing. With Eleanor's testimony and the new evidence, Frank found Olivia was arrested and charged with murder. The news shook New York. Michael, upon hearing the news, confessed to his role in covering up Lily's secret and also faced justice. My life with Lily finally found true peace. Lily grew up loved, no longer haunted by the ghosts of the past. I learned that love doesn't always come from blood, and family can be built on trust, courage, and unconditional love. The days in upstate New York passed peacefully. I still occasionally read the news about Olivia and Michael's cases, but those reports no longer pained me. They were just old pages of a book that had closed. Lily is a teenager now, beautiful and strong. She doesn't remember much about those terrifying days in Manhattan, but she knows I'm the one who fought to protect her. We live our lives peacefully and happily under the vast sky of upstate New York, where the cold winter winds can never freeze our warm hearts. And sometimes, on full moon nights when Lily is fast asleep, I sit by the window looking out at the still lake. I wonder, does Olivia in her cold prison cell ever regret what she did? Or do the ghosts of the past continue to haunt her endlessly? Life is a book, and each of us writes our own story. There are chapters filled with sorrow and chapters filled with joy. But the important thing is that we must be brave enough to turn the page and believe that, no matter how long the night, dawn will come. And for me, that dawn is named Lily.